Well, howdy ho there, folks. How are we doing today? Hopefully, you're all doing peachy keen, absolutely full of the love of the Lord, I think. And yeah, it's just an absolutely wonderful day, isn't it? Today, we are going to talk a little bit about the boundless love of God. I think we sometimes don't think about the love of God in the way that we should, in that we tend to think of the love of God as like this kind of abstract thing that, like, oh yeah, God loves everybody. But like, there's an intense, deep meaning to that. God loves everybody. Everybody. There are no exceptions. And you may say, but there are people who suffer tremendously. Does God love them? Yes. Still, God loves them. There are people who do all sorts of evil things, bad things, things that we might even go so far as to say are unforgivable. Does God still love them? Yes. You see, the love of God is very radical in the sense that there are no boundaries. There is nothing that you can truly do to make it so that God doesn't love you. To make it so that you won't go through another life, maybe terrible, maybe not, and have God still love you. Make it so that you may go through infinite lives. You may never truly reach divinity in the sense of like breaking apart and becoming, part of that ultimate essence. Maybe not. I think we all will, because God loves everybody. Because this is God playing these roles. If Jesus Christ sacrificed himself, he sacrificed himself for everyone. For all of mankind. For those mountains of sin that people have built, Jesus Christ has died for those mountains to be done away with. For people to receive forgiveness and love, and to conceive compassion in their hearts. The Divine Mother comes to us running when we call. No matter what difficulties we have, they're there for us. They're always there. And people will say things to you like, oh, well, look at the world. Look at the state of the world. Look at the darkness in the world. How can God truly love us? And what I say is, of course God still loves us. You think just because some little bad thing happens that the universe is not still filled with boundless love? Even here on our pale little blue dot, where bad things happen, don't you ever just look up at the sky and see the vastness of the cosmos and realize that no matter what evil can happen here, the whole of the universe is still pure? That by getting past these evil deeds, we find strength. And Gulimala was a bandit who cut off people's fingers and put them on a necklace. One truly powerful encounter with the Buddha led him to change his ways. He then tried to earn back the forgiveness and the understanding of the people that were, in those villages that he was always bothering. He did his best to prove that he could be a new person, that he could help and change. God's boundless love was there. People do change and people can turn around. Never think that you don't have the ability to change. Never think that you are unloved. Never think that there isn't a chance to turn things around, and never think that someone else's story is permanently written. Remember that no matter where you are, you can take that moment to imbibe that love of God and be merciful, to bring mercy onto one another, to help one another, and to be there in that glory of God. There is no moment where God is not present with us. And you know, if something bothers you, remember that the Lord is always present and that you can always take refuge in God. Remember that, God willing, you have the ability to change. Remember that even with all of your flaws, no matter how heinous you may think they are, you still have the love and the glory of God within you. That God is always your mother, God is always your father. And, you know, even if you don't believe in God, know that I still believe that God loves you. And I still believe that you're just as deserving of peace and happiness and tranquility as anybody else. It's not about your beliefs. It's not about whether or not you belong to the same religion as me. It's not about any of that. By your very nature, by your very existence, you deserve love. By your very nature, by your very existence, you deserve peace and happiness. You go through difficult times. And this isn't to trivialize them. But it's just so that you understand that even those difficult times are still full of that love of God and are still full of greatness and wonder in that moment. And that you possess the ability to grasp onto that happiness. That the Lord is the ocean of bliss and we can all take a dip. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that neat? Okay, that's just what I wanted to share for right now. That was what was on my brain. I hope that you all have an absolutely wonderful day, and I hope you know that I love you and God loves you, and bye-bye, I love you, bye. Have a great one, bye. Hug a cat, bye.